Admin is the root component of every React admin application. It's where you define global configuration like the theme, language, layout, etc. It's also where you define the resources of your application and the components to use for each resource. Let's see that with an example. This basic React admin application has 4 resources. Here I have products. I also have reviews, customers, orders. The code for the application core is quite basic, one admin and several resource children, and I've put aside the actual code of each resource because it's of no interest for this tutorial. The only required prop for the admin component is the dataProvider, which is the adapter used to communicate with the API. If I open the console here, you can see that this application uses a local data provider. And you can also see that if I refocus the window, let's blur and refocus again, it refreshes the data. This is a default behavior of React admin. But what if I want to change this behavior? Well, that's where the admin props come in handy. The admin component accepts a queryClient prop, which lets me define a React query client with specific options. And I've prepared a queryClient here that specifically disables the refetch on Windows Focus for each fetch. So let me save, and now when I click on the app again, it doesn't fetch, doesn't refresh anymore. I blur and I focus again. Now, suppose I want to restrict the access to the application. To do that, I just need to set an authentication provider using the authProvider prop. And I've prepared an authProvider. And now when I refresh the application, it asks me to log in. So I'm going to admin to log in. Sorry. And now you can see that it shows my name here, and I can also log out to reset my preferences. And if I use another user, it changes the name and the avatar. The actual logic of the authentication backend doesn't matter. It's the authProvider's job to implement it. Okay. The interface here is in English. What if I also have French users? Well, I just need to add an I18N provider. I have prepared one here. And as soon as I save it, my app now shows a language selector. And if I click on it, I can change the language of the interface. And that's everywhere in every screen. I have now a French interface. Let's switch back to English. The interface renders a list of products for the homepage. I'd prefer to render a dashboard instead. So I have prepared a dashboard. And it's called dashboard. And now the homepage is this dashboard that I've prepared. I just had to set it in the admin component. If I want to customize the look and feel of my application, I can just pass a custom theme. And in fact, I should pass 2 themes, one for the light theme, one for the dark mode, sorry. And I have imported, I have created a light and a dark theme. I have to import them. And just going to pass them down to the admin. And now my application has switched its theme. It also allows me to switch to light theme, and every component now has a different look and feel. You can see that the buttons, the form elements have just changed just with this setting of themes, and just for you to make sure, themes here is a light theme and a dark theme, and I'm using the Radiant built-in theme from ReactAdmin. One final thing I want to show you is the ability to add custom routes. For that, I can use the custom routes components. Custom routes, and custom routes will take routes as children. A routes is a React router component, so I have to import it manually. From React router, and I'm going to use a route for the which will associate a path, in this case status, with an element, and this element will be status, which is a page I have already built. So that's it, and I'm going to add the no layout prop to the custom route, so that my status page isn't decorated with the menu and the app bar. And now when I go to the status page, I should see a status page. So admin is a very powerful component that lets you change the behavior and look of your application. And there are many more admin props that let you customize the application. I encourage you to read the documentation to learn more about them. But the admin component doesn't let you override all of the application settings. That would imply a lot of props. And instead, ReactAdmin relies on composition. For instance, let's say here, if I go back to the application, that I want to reorder this menu here, and I want to show, for instance, the customers first. For that, I need to create a custom menu, which I did. I have a custom menu here, which renders customers first, and then products, etc. How do I set this menu in the admin? There is no menu prop here. To add the menu, I have to create first a custom layout. So I'm going to create a custom layout, which will actually render a layout, ReactAdmin layout component, to which I'm going to pass a menu called custom menu. Custom menu, here it is. And I'll pass this custom layout. And so now I have to save, sorry. And now the customers appear first as in my custom menu. So this shows that there are many things you can configure in ReactAdmin, and the admin doesn't allow you to, oh, something's wrong, sorry. What's wrong with this layout? Sorry, one very important thing, when you write a custom layout, you have to pass down the props, otherwise the children get lost. You should never lose your children, right? Okay, that's better. So, yeah, there are many more things you can configure in a ReactAdmin app, not all directly with a prop in the admin component. Happy coding!